Good morning, Dominique, and good to meet you in cyberspace. This will be some milestone one feedback for you, and I will also give you a little bit of commentary on the 4.1 wireframe peer review. Good to meet you. Dominique, these are adequate, and I did say that you could use paper and pencil to do them. Especially if it means that you were able to generate a number of sketches. And so I see that you did the requisite 3 and then some. So good going on that. In general, I should be able to flip this around just to fully appreciate it. But I'm going to say, without doing that, I'm going to say that the ones where the navigation is at the top might be the most successful. I'd be careful about eating up too much vertical space. And you might also consider thinking about designing your wireframes for a square. It's hard to anticipate what format your websites will be viewed on. Will it be the landscape of a desktop? Will it be the portrait of a small device like an iPhone? So if you design your wireframes within a square, sort of the least amount of damage is done in any one dimension. Okay, just a suggestion. Now, another thing I like about some of these is that you have indications, I think, of text or images that span the width of the page. That's always a good idea. See if you can get your photographs to bleed off the edge of the page. Try to avoid these awkward white lattice-like white intervals, between things. It's kind of distracting. Better to have, maybe a single image that goes from left to right across the page with type on top of it. Okay, so these are adequate. I think my preference would be for one of the ones with, well, they all have the navigation at the top, but maybe where the logo falls alongside the navigation. Dominique, I'm not sure if you were doing one of the clients or something else, but in any case, this is your 3.3 submission. This is the Inline Styling project, and I've gone to the URL. I see that you're hosting it off of the 000 webhost.app. That's fine if it allows you to get things on and off the server easily. I'm all for it. Now I'm viewing your website in Safari for the Macintosh, and every browser has this feature. It differs from browser to browser, but you can view the code in a split screen at the bottom here. This little box, if I had access to your web server account, would give me an idea of the site structure, other folders or directories and files that were public I would be able to see. So what I can do is I can live preview your code while looking at the HTML that has made it. And I see that it's really simple. You've used H1 to style this, and you've chosen a color. I don't know if this is from Pasta Amore or Town or something else. But okay, you're developing a portfolio for a video game. This meets the bill for 3.3 Inline Styling. It's proficient in that you have added style. I'm not sure about the chosen client's palette. I mean, have you developed a branding scheme for yourself? That's something that is done in GRA 420, by the way, if you're interested. And then I see that you've uploaded it. So good job on that. You meet the requirements of the rubric. You've got some commenting going on. That's from last week. That's good. And everything looks good. Dominique, I'm a little curious about your domain name. What is the Johnsonian ideas? Just curious. Is it from the Age of Reason? Just curious. I see a nicely coded sitemap. It looks like, once again, you've met the requirements of the rubric. And you have some of the links. I can see here you've got About You, Gallery, resume. That might be enough, for starters on a portfolio website. I'm going to zoom in here. I wanted to take a look at your file management. All right, so this is the file management as it exists on your PC, and you're going to want to upload this. So you have a folder for images, one for media, as was suggested in one of the announcements. Those are suggestions only. There's, you can label them things that make more sense to you. For example, media to me doesn't really make much sense. I mean, what's the difference between, say, an image and HTML file if only HTML files are clumped in media? Anyway, you call them what you want. Just be consistent from your desktop to your server. And then I see also that you've got this list of links with URLs, and you've made a nice sitemap. This will become the basis also of your navigation scheme too this week, and you're probably grappling with that as we speak. So you have provided me with a properly coded sitemap. I would like to see a visual sitemap though. You met the requirements for the rubric, but without a visual sitemap, I think us visual types are a little lost. And you've given me evidence of your file management structure. Good going. Dominique, this is, I'm glad I should have read this first or sooner. I realized that this is your charter for your portfolio website. And it's a good one. It's really valid. These are all valid questions to ask. And I teach 420, which is the portfolio. Well, it's the pre-portfolio class, and students are getting their online portfolios sorted out at that point. And I think if we ask these questions, if I am the client, what questions should I ask myself? That's what I enjoyed about this. It gives me some ideas about that class and some questions maybe I should be asking of the students. And you go on to briefly outline what portfolio sites can be. They very subtly or not so subtly. Also, if you have varied interest, it's sometimes difficult, though not impossible, and I encourage you to do it, is to combine interest in some kind of presentation, so you don't feel like you're leaving out, a good part of your creative identity. Do think about technological tools for marketing, though, because that is part of the rubric here, and that would include, if you were doing a restaurant and maybe a design firm too. Maybe they can be, or you say you're in game development, portfolio site. Think about Google Analytics, for example, that will measure hits. There are keyword search tools that you can use. Do a short investigation maybe about some of the technological tools used to market portfolio websites, and come back at us with your findings. Good job, Dominique. I look forward to seeing how your website develops.